Good afternoon, good evening, guys. Love that little vampire smile at the end. Very, very true to life. How are you guys doing? It is Wednesday, it is hump day. We're halfway through the week. Hope you're doing well. I thought I've been so lucky to get to stream with so many amazing people recently. It's been a while since I've done a solo stream, so I thought we'd kick back and have a little chat and talk about a couple of interesting things that I've found. But before we kind of jump into it, let's see who we have got with us. We've got Spiking Man. It's great to see you. We've got the gentleman himself, Salty Texas C, who was kind enough to make that awesome intro that you just saw, and you guys will be seeing later on the outro as well. Let's see, we've got Psychodwarf 9. Hello, great to see you. Silverlock, hello there. Let me scroll up and see who else we've got. Daniel, great to see you, Daniel. Hello, Nearsighted Cyclops. Hello there. Brimstone, great to see you as well. Always a pleasure to meet a fellow Legacy of Kain fan. That is so cool. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing anybody. I think I've got everybody. No, I missed Sakurat. 315, hello, great to see you. And Jacob Einstein, hey there, good to see you as well. Hi, guys. And kicking it off, we have got a super sticker from Salty. Thank you so much. Let me see. And it is a Shiba Inu with the hearts. Love that one. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Hey, guys, if you didn't check out the fantastic panel that we had last night on Salty's channel, it was a lot of fun. Covered some really, really great topics. Everything from Madonna refusing to grow old gracefully to the 35th anniversary of Predator to Amazon's stab at generic fantasy. So please check that one out as well. But what I wanted to cover today was a couple of things that kind of caught my eye, and I was wondering, what should I talk about? Is what's out at the moment that everybody's not talking about? So the first thing that I wanted to bring up, and as you've probably seen with the thumbnail, it is Legacy of Kain. So this is a game and a game series that has been kind of languishing for at least the past 10 years. It's got a cult following. People really seem to love these games. But what's happening with my mic? I don't know. What's happening with my mic? Let me know. Okay. Oh, okay. So it says it's fading in and out. All right. Let me check, guys. Let me know, is that any better? Let's see. Fingers crossed. If not, it is StreamYard's acting up, because I did a mic check before I went live. Oh dear, everybody. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let's see if that's any better. Check that one for me. Daniel says it's roboting. I'm so sorry. but at least it didn't. It started before we really got into talking about it. So let me know in the chat if it's any better. Thank you guys for letting me know. Appreciate that. Okay, better. Awesome. All right then. Cool. We're just going to blame StreamYards as they usually do at the moment, since it seems to be acting up. But as I was saying with Soul Reaver, it is finally getting a long-awaited HD remaster. But it's not getting it from the developers. It's not getting it from I'm not even sure who owns it. It used to be Crystal Dynamics, and then Eidos owned it, and then it got passed on to somebody else. But it is actually from the fans themselves that have done it. So this is from CBR. So thank you to them for actually covering this. And incidentally, if you guys check out the description below, I've actually linked the story trailer that they've made for this, so please and check them out, because they've put a lot of work into this. And you can, there's also, they link to where you can download this. But let's see what they've got to say. So fans give Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver its long-awaited HD remaster. Legacy of Kain is finally coming back with a HD remaster, but it's not being made by Crystal Dynamics. This is entirely a fan-made project. So, Legacy of Kain is back, but we're not getting a new game, unfortunately. Something that they've been teasing us with for probably the past 10 years or so. We've had games kind of go into development and then they cancelled them. At this stage, I don't think we're going to get another Legacy of Kain. But if we did get a really good HD remaster, something in like Final Fantasy, for example, that would be amazing. But this is the next best thing. So it says the series, and this is the second game in the series, is finally receiving a HD remaster, courtesy of some particularly dedicated fans. A trailer for Soul Reaver HD Remaster, a fan-made initiative to the remaster the 1999 classic, was recently uploaded to YouTube, highlighting the stark disparity between the game's original graphics and the overhauled look of the new remaster. And just watching the trailer, and it looks like they've also found new sound files as well, because there are lines that I didn't recognize that have been added to this. So that's exciting as well. So the trailer promises remastered HD textures, 60 FPS dynamic music, and custom control settings, bringing the Legacy of Kain series back to life at long last. It really does. And this is the trailer. I'm not going to play it, but as I said, I've linked it down below if you guys would like to check it out. Please do, and give them a like, because they've worked incredibly hard on this. So the Soul Reaver HD Remaster is a fan-made project, which makes sense given that Legacy of Kain developer Crystal Dynamics has avoided the franchise for a few years now. That's putting it mildly. Noskov, an online spin-off game developed by Rocket League Studios. Pysonics entered early development in 2015 and was taken offline in 2016. I actually quite liked Noskov, but it didn't have the fan base or the following because it's such a deviation from the previous games. But I kind of liked the gameplay. It was fun to play as a group. And that means there hasn't been any official Legacy of Kain title of any variety for more than half a decade. Absolutely. It's been even longer since the last time a full-fledged Legacy of Kain title received a complete release. The proper last game was Legacy of Kain Defiance. That was released all the way back in 2003. God, that makes me feel old. There has been next to no movement, buzz relating to a new game since. Blood Omen, which is a fantastic game, and the one that I started with, came out in 1996, and that received a PC port in 2021, but the series hasn't seen a proper new entry in nearly 20 years. As I said, this is unfortunately, as popular as it is, and people always say how much they love this series, it's very much a cult classic, and it doesn't seem that the developers want anything to do with it, which is kind of sad, because along the line we've had a revamped versions of Tomb Raider, we've had Deus Ex, which they talk about as well, but they don't seem to want to touch the vampires, unfortunately. So it goes on to say, Legacy of Kain developer Crystal Dynamics was recently sold from Square Enix to Embracer Group. This was a massive sale, by the way. I think I covered it a few months ago, if I remember correctly, talking about just how big this was. And at the time, fans were quite excited because we thought, well, maybe now they will give us a new game, or they will do something with the series that's been languishing for so long. But it doesn't look like they are that interested in it, unfortunately, at the moment. Let's see. So according to industry insiders, one of those studios, Eidos Montreal, is seeing significantly increased freedom under Embracer Group. Eidos Montreal is reportedly working on a reboot of its long-dormant franchise, Deus Ex, which I thought that was going to be the case. We've also had Hitman brought back as well. That project is still in early stages of development. Crystal Dynamics is currently working on a new entry to the Tomb Raider series. Not a massive surprise. It's a huge series. People love those games. Development on that project has been under Square Enix, but will ultimately be released under Embracer. Crystal Dynamics is also working on the live-action live service, game Marvel's Avengers. Oh god, yeah, give it up, guys. Which recently received a major update introducing the playable character of Jane Foster, aka the Mighty Thor, which I'm sure people are absolutely clamoring to get a hold of. All right, let me jump back and see what you guys are saying. Hey there. Let's see. Daniel says this goes a long way towards the argument that at certain points fans truly own a property more than the company. The fans cared about this more than the company did. Absolutely, this is definitely one of those. It's it's fan driven all the way, and to be honest, it was the fans that tried to keep Nosgoth going for as long as it did. They wanted to yank it much sooner, and people kind of campaigned and they emailed and said, please, if you're going to at least stop giving us more content, could you leave the servers up so we can still play? But unfortunately, the whole thing got taken down. Zakarat says, I played Blood Omen 2, but the first one, yes, I've played all of these. Ren Zero, great to see you. Crystal Dynamics was owned by Square Enix, if I remember correctly. They did, yes. I think Crystal Dynamics, and then it went on to Eidos, and then on to Square Enix, and now on to Embracer. So these things have passed hands a lot. Renzura also says, I remember working for Game when this came out and selling shed loads of it. I remember waiting in line. This was one of those games that I was there first thing in the morning because I wanted a copy, and I love it. There just isn't enough Legacy of Kain stuff around. I've got the toys, which I think I've shown you guys in the past, and I've got different versions of the game, and I've got a few of the manuals as well and the comic book, but there just really isn't much to do with the series, unfortunately. Salty said, I still want a PC port for Last of Us, the first one, the only one. Absolutely. Well said. Let's see what else we've got. We've got Spike in Madness. It said, I heard there was supposed to be one last game after Defiance, but I thought the ending was perfect at the end of Defiance. Yes, it was Black Sun, if I remember correctly, and it was a whole separate character that kind of touched on the world of Nosgoth and kind of talked about some of the characters, but it didn't bring back Raziel, obviously. If you played the games, I don't think Kain was in it, although he was probably mentioned. It was a whole new protagonist that they were trying to introduce, and they got quite far with the game, if I remember correctly, before that also got shelved. But it's a real shame. I think something like this, I think it could be brought back, and people do really seem to love this series. It was the music, it was the gameplay, it was the voice acting that was top notch, and it was just a really great series with really kind of deep, for a video game, I guess, themes. Daniel, thank you, Daniel. Great to see you as always. He sent us a $2 super chat. He says, Soul Reaver was my first entry on PC. What a story. Absolutely. I had it on PlayStation. I also had it on Dreamcast as well. And the Dreamcast was a fantastic version. It looks so good. Let's see what else we've got. Salty says Thor 4, the badge hammer. Run Zero Square Enix is selling all of their Western studios need to fund Final Fantasy 14. Well, yeah, that's where the money is at the moment, and we've seen that quite a few times with different developers. We saw it with Rockstar, where they've pulled resources away from Red Dead Redemption 2, especially online. They said there's not going to be any more updates, but they are obviously continuing with GTA online. That's where the money is. Ian so forth. Hey there, good evening. It says, finally, I've been waiting for Jane Foster to be a playable character. You've got your wish, my friend. Enjoy. Tell us what it's like. And Jacob Ironside said, who wouldn't want to play as female Thor? She's better and stronger than male Thor. That's what Marvel keeps telling us. Absolutely. War Monkey, great to see you. Says, I loved Soul Reaver. That opening cinematic for showing the story is still one of my favorite gaming moments ever. Absolutely, that is such a fantastic. And I've got to admit, back in the day when I first played that game and first watched that opening cinematic, I was blown away. I was so impressed with how it looked. It was incredible. And Spiking Manless, yes, Simon Templeman, fantastic actor, also did the voice of Doctor Doom. Tony J, dearly missed, what an amazing voice actor. And Michael Ball, who, if you guys have ever listened to or watched any 80s cartoon ever, you will recognize this gentleman's voice. Such a great cast. And I think it had Anna Gunn in as well, who played Ariel, and she's obviously from Breaking Bad. What a fantastic cast. Great to see you, Andy Masterson. It says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well. So that's pretty it. That's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, it's something that made me very, very happy. I've watched the trailer quite a few times. There's a story trailer, and then there's a kind of comparison trailer where they show you the before and after. And they've really put a heck of a lot of work into this, and it might be something that I'm going to have to look into to see if I can download and play just for old time's sake. I can still play it obviously on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, the games, but I'd love to be able to play these and actually kind of run through it with you guys. Such good memories. Spike said he was Duke in G.I. Joe. Yes, he was. He was, absolutely. He was also, I think he was not Ironhide. I think he was Prowl in Transformers, if I remember correctly. And hello to Jaden Hamilton. Great to see you. Hey there. So the next thing that I wanted to bring up was I was a little bit skeptical about the show when it was first announced. Let me bring this up. But it is Tim Burton. So we have got the Wednesday trailer, and of course they dropped it on a Wednesday. Well done. And we've also got we had a lot of the cast pictures drop last night, I believe. So this is the Tim Burton reimagining of the Addams Family for Netflix, and this is centered around the character of Wednesday, obviously played by Jenny Ortega. I actually quite like the casting. I've got to admit, I really like the look of Catherine Zeta-Jones. I thought gentleman who plays Gomez looks fantastic as well, and I don't know whether I would say I've got high hopes for this show, but it does look like it could be fun, and I will take fun at the moment. Tim Burton usually kind of gets it right, at least with the aesthetic. This is something that I think more so than what we've had with the remake of The Munsters. I think Tim Burton's going to really kind of nail it, and just watching the trailer, it does seem that way. It seems like it's going to be kind of a coming-of-age kind of comedy, sort of teen drama, I would guess. It's not going to be too kind of over the top. But let's see what they've got to say. So it says, from a comic strip, excuse me, to a 60s sitcom, to a Tony-nominated musical, the beloved Addams Family has appeared in various forms. This fall, the Ghoulish Clan will be brought to life in the upcoming spin off series Wednesday, and Netflix has revealed its official trailer, which it was pretty cool. So, from the mind of Tim Burton, the series follows You, star, I've never seen You, Jenny Ortega as Wednesday, the twisted teenage daughter of Morticia and Gomez Adams. In the spin off, Wednesday attends Nevermore Academy, where she attempts to master her new psychic abilities and solve a murder mystery connected to her family's past. Yeah, see, that bit with her new psychic abilities and murder mystery kind of lost me a little bit. Uh, so we've got from Ortega, she says, little did I know I'd be stepping into a nightmare in the trailer. Full of mystery, mayhem, and murder. I think I'm going to love it here. Let's see. So other members of the Addams Family cast include Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia, Louis Guzman as Gomez, and Isaac Ordonez as Wednesday's brother Pugsley. Let's see. Victor Dorobantu, I hope I pronounced that correctly, plays the disembodied hand servant thing, whilst George Borosea plays Servant Lurch. We've also got Gwendolyn Christie back, who is playing the headmistress, it seems, and this has got quite a big cast. Just going through it. Let's see what else we've got. So, Christina Ricci, who played the iconic role of Wednesday in the 90s film series, will make a special appearance as Marilyn Thornhill as well. Now, for me, Christina Ricci is kind of the go-to when I think of Wednesday. She was so perfect at that. But we'll see. I watched the trailer and it was actually better than I expected. And this is one of those shows that I kind of forgot was coming out because I don't have Netflix, and it just kind of popped up on my Twitter feed earlier, but it was interesting. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Darius Munchausen. Great to see you. Hey there. We've also got Awesome One. Hello. It says, so murder will be a common thing now in the Addams Family? Yeah, I really hope that not, because the whole point of the Addams Family, if you think back to the like the black and white TV show, which was so good. It was a dysfunctional family, but they just worked, and it was very endearing. And I love the chemistry that Morticia and Gomez has. That is couples goals. Let's see what else you guys have got to say. Spike and Madness says Christina Ricci is my Wednesday Addams. Same, yeah, she was pretty much perfect for the role. She really encapsulated that kind of deadpan look and speech, and it brought that character to life, I guess you would say. Let's see. Speak for the Dead. Great to see you. Hey there. I love Soul Reaver. I know we've talked about Soul Reaver in the past, and I think we're going to have to do a retrospective, perhaps, of the series. And I'd love to talk about it with you guys if you guys would be interested. I never get tired of talking about these games. Psychodwarf is a little bit more skeptical, says we will see. And Cygnus Jacqueline, hey there. Great to see you. Welcome. I love the Legacy of Kain games. Me too. We were just talking about it and how excited I am for this remaster that the fans have done. Hopefully, if this does well, perhaps it'll kind of kick it into gear and they will remember what an amazing series and what an amazing franchise they have on their hands, and we'll get a official remake or remaster or even a new game. I'll take any of the above at this stage, but great to see you. Hey there. Jaden says, I have no idea what Soul Reaver is. That's okay. Hang around long enough and I will talk your ear off about it. Psychodwarf Addams Family Volumes was surprisingly good. It was. I love the reimagining of the Addams Family. They just got the whole vibe right and it just looked great. Spike says, can't forget John Aston either. What an amazing Gomez. He really brought that character to life. He was suave, sophisticated, and what a amazing actor. Absolutely. I even didn't mind the animated films that we've had recently. They weren't perfect, but they went back to the roots of the comic book series. Well, not series, but serial, I guess you would class it as. And I thought it was quite charming. Not brilliant, but not terrible either. Ian so forth, thank you. Thank you so much. He sends us a £15 super chat. Thank you. Says, no mention of how Tim Burton's going to crowbar Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp in there yet. Anyway, yes. I missed Tim Burton when he was at his peak, when he was doing things like Sleepy Hollow and those sort of films. Sweeney Todd was another one. You know, that whole Tim Burton aesthetic, you just knew when you saw it that it was one of his films. I always thought when he got to kind of the Alice in Wonderland films, that's when he started to kind of lose his way a little bit. But yeah, can't beat Tim Burton's films. And one of my favourites was always Edward Scissorhands. I watch that every year around Christmas time. Daniel says, I grew up watching the black and white show on Nick at Night. I've been watching it on YouTube at the moment. There's quite a lot of episodes that they've added, and if you kind of search around, you can find them. But it's been a lot of fun to catch up. And you guys were talking about it before we went live, going back and watching old entertainment. And it's these sort of shows that seem to be kind of popping up more and more now. People really crave the older but fantastic entertainment that we had. And I've been watching, I think I talked about it recently, the Twilight Zone. I've been working my way through those. I've got a couple of seasons left. I've been watching Tales from the Crypt as well, because I love that sort of thing. And also we've been watching a lot of the 80s and early 90s animated films. It's a real palate cleanser. Absolutely loving getting to do that at the moment. Let's see. Jaden says, oh, so this is a Legacy of Kain game. Is it about vampires? It is indeed about vampires, but not quite the same as normal vampires. It's got its own lore. I've done a few videos, so what I will probably do is link them to this one, but I've talked about them quite in depth over the past couple of years. But what I might do, and if you guys would be interested, I can do a short series just talking about each one of the games and maybe a couple of the characters, kind of give a breakdown. But yeah, these games don't get enough love, and I'm here to give them that love. Renzura says Tim Burton's Batman Returns was peak Burton. Absolutely. Such a great style. Psychodwarf says his visual style was unique. Absolutely. Jacob says Purple, the old Twilight Zone. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Yes, the Rod Serling one. I've been working my way through that. I've got about 2.5 seasons left to go, but having an absolute blast getting to watch those. Let me jump back and see if there's anything else we can pick apart from this. So it says Alfred Goff and Miles Miller serve as showrunners, writers, and executive producers on the series. Tim Burton executive produces and directs 4 of the 8 episodes. What is it with shows having like 8 episodes now? Do you remember when we used to have like 12 to 15 episodes in a season? They're all like half seasons now. It's probably because the cost of them has skyrocketed, I would imagine, but Netflix will Netflix. I completely lost my train of thought. Let me get back to where I was. Tim Burton produces and directs 4 of the 8 episodes, and we've got some other people directing as well. Again, a lot of these shows seems to have a huge kind of producing pool or directing pool or writing pool. It just seems to be the way of things now. I probably won't show you the trailer because I know I'm probably going to get hit for it. I don't know. Do you guys want to see a little bit of the trailer? I probably couldn't. I can play it without the sound, probably, if that works. Let me stop that and I'll bring up the other one and we'll see what you guys think. And jumping across. There it is. Okay. Let me, let's full screen that and let's have a look. I probably won't put the sound on if that's okay, guys, but just to give you an idea of the visual style of it. Deadpan humor to her. I think that's a great look. Uh, so in this scene, what she's doing is basically sticking up for her brother. He's being bullied, and she's not going to have any of that. So she takes it into her own hands to get revenge on the guys that are doing it. And by doing that, she drops a couple of bags of piranha into the pool. Because that's the sort of thing that Wednesday would do. Let me skip ahead a little bit. And so it says, yep, front great, the music looks great. And I'm actually pretty pleased with the cast. So I think this is probably going to be one that I will kind of give a look at. I will probably do what I usually do, and that's watch the first 3 episodes with a show. If by the 3rd episode it hasn't got my attention or it's lacking, that's usually when I decide to bail. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Daniel says the set design reminds me a lot of Lemony Snicket. God, I remember that film and those books. Renzira says you can see Burton's influence in the styling. Absolutely. Yep. Trailer impressed me. I was pleasantly surprised as well, and I just thought it was very funny that they dropped it on a Wednesday. Well done, Netflix. You got it right for a change. Renzira says budget reasons. Yeah, I thought that was the case. Darius, we used to get 24-ish episodes a season. I remember. Yep. These shows are all producer shows now. Director has little influence unless they are known. Yes, and even with the influence and the name behind with Tim Burton, there is as we saw, a hell of a lot of producers and people involved with this as well. So, the other thing that I wanted to cover today, let me pull it up. You guys know that I love horror, and this is something that also kind of came out of nowhere because I completely forgot to know. I'm a massive fan of Guillermo del Toro. I think he is a great director. Pan's Labyrinth is probably in my top 5 favorite films of all time. As his career's kind of progressed, they kind of fell off a little bit. I didn't like the last couple of films that he's done, but I do, similar to Tim Burton, like his style, because once you see it, you think, I know that. It's very easily recognizable. But let me just take a quick drink, guys. Again, from Netflix, we have the Cabinet of Curiosities from Guillermo del Toro. And this is a brand new horror series, and it looks truly terrifying. So whereas Wednesday was more kind of family friendly, I guess, and more kind of aimed at the young adult audience, this is firmly in the horror section, and I'm all for that. So it says Cabinet of Curiosities is shaping up to be the Netflix horror series of the year. Here's everything you need to know about it. In the world of 2022 TV, who would have predicted that horror would be having such a renaissance? Well, anybody who's a fantasy fan, for one, or a sci-fi fan. Well, if the popularity of recent releases such as The Baby, The Midwich Cuckoos, Men, and Nope are anything to go by, the genre is truly having its moments, and we're here for it. Midwich Cuckoos is just a remake. I haven't seen Nope. I'm not a massive fan of Jordan Peele, but I've heard it's pretty good, so I might check it out. And the other two I haven't seen, unfortunately. Again, I guess horror is subjective. I tend to go back to great horror films rather than going forward, because the last couple that I've seen, especially spin-offs of big franchises like Halloween, I didn't particularly think much of, and we've got the final one coming in October, and there was also kind of a reboot, remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it, of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that was pretty terrible as well. But we'll see what this has to say, because I do like anthology film series. I think they're great. I was always a massive fan of American Horror Story, the Fear Street that they did as well. A couple of those were pretty good, especially the 1984 one, I think it was. I thought was pretty spot on. So it goes on to say, just when we didn't think our watch list could get any longer, Netflix has just unveiled a new series release that will be a winner for any horror fans out there. Cabinet of Curiosities is set to be the Halloween event of the year. We know, it's a little early to be thinking of costume parties, pumpkins, and the like. Disagree. It's never too early. But it's only a couple of months away. Hell yeah, it is. And what better way to mark the occasion than by bringing us eight terrifying episodes of the anthology series, all spaced out over the course of 4 nights. Now that's interesting. So I'm guessing they'll be releasing them in blocks of 2. Bid farewell, well, not completely, to reruns of some of our favourites because there's a new nightmare-inducing TV show in town. Well, we will see. Let's see what they've got to say. So, the new series from Guillermo del Toro, the acclaimed master of horror and Oscar-winning director behind major releases including Pan's Labyrinth and The Shape of Water. While Del Toro may not be at the helm of the project, each episode story is being told by some of today's most revered horror creators, including the directors of The Babadook, Splice, Mandy, and many more. So that's interesting because Mandy I really did like. The Babadook was very interesting as well, and Splice. So that's kind of piqued my interest already. With the new teaser having just been released, we've had our first look at the horrors in store, and trust us, even 5 seconds in isn't for the faint-hearted. Each episode will involve a different cast, director, and plotline, all telling a standalone story and having been personally picked by Del Toro himself. Episodes include Dreams in the Witch House, Graveyard Rats, Lot 36, Pickman's Model, The Autopsy, The Murmuring, The Outside, and The Viewing. Lots of practical effects and prosthetics. That's what I like to see. And if I scroll up here, that actually looks pretty cool. That looks like a gigantic rat by the looks of things. So it's already kind of winning me over. Let me jump back and see what you guys are saying as well. So, Lyle, hello, great to see you. It says hello. Oh, honey, it's so good to see you. I hope you're having a good day today and hope the family are well as well. He says, saying hello to the classiest and fierce lady on YouTube. Hail to you and this amazing fellowship. Well said. Absolutely. We do have an amazing fellowship. Ian Saforth, did YouTube delete my comment about Tim Burton? Quite possibly. I didn't touch it, I promise. But if you could put it back in, I'm sure it'll go through a second time. I've had that happen a few times. So even just saying something as innocuous as hello to somebody and it gets picked up and deleted by the bots. Renzero says, Cabinet of Curiosities. Absolutely. Let's see what you guys have to say. We've got from Silverlock. Thank you so much, Silverlock. We've got a super sticker. Let me scroll back and see. It is a it's an OP hippo. Thank you. Thank you so much. I haven't seen that one before. That's amazing. That is so cool. Thank you so much, Silverlock. I really appreciate that. And we've also got from Renzero. Great to see you. Says, wonder what The Hobbit by Del Toro would have been like. I really would have liked to have seen it. I've got to admit, I love Peter Jackson's direction, and ultimately, I'm glad that he did direct The Hobbit. Kind of wish that the studio hadn't pushed him so hard to make it into 3 films. If I remember correctly, Del Toro only wanted to do it as 2 films. But I would have liked to have seen his take on it. But it just kind of, in hindsight now, it feels right that Jackson got to do the Hobbit as well as the Lord of the Rings trilogies. And I still have a soft spot for the first film. But thank you so much, Friend Zero. Really appreciate that. Daniel says movie directors making streaming shows with very short episode runs. Yep, sounds like they are going to streaming to make their movie projects, and it's just chopping them up into episodes. Well, I've talked about this with a few people, and I know a lot of people really love the Stranger Things, and those episodes were incredibly long. You know, they were feature-length episodes, and it seems that the next season that we're getting is going to be more of a structured one with just maybe one very long episode to cap it off. But it is bizarre the way they're releasing some of these. We talked about Sandman, and some of those episodes were an hour long, but there are also episodes that were probably about 40 minutes long, and it really kind of throws you off when you're watching them. Let's see what else we've got. Monkey Jeeba says it looks like the giant rat from Princess Bride. I hadn't thought about that. It does. And Darius Purple notices, I always notice you, love. I always notice. I always keep an eye on the chat whenever I can. It's so good. And I'm very, very blessed that you guys want to hang out for just a little while and hear me talk nonsense about about whatever I come across. So thank you guys. Archer Conning, good evening. Good to see you. He says, late. I come in just in time to hear about nightmare-inducing shows. She-Hulk, the new Black Robin Hood, Marvel Phase 5. Absolutely take your pick, indeed. And I know you wanted me to cover the new reimagining of Robin Hood. So what I will probably do is I'll do a video on that, if that's okay. Because, yeah, it's bizarre. I know technically Robin Hood is, it's not copyright. It's in the public domain, but it is very, very tiresome to see it being done yet again. Let's see. Yeah, that sticker was so ridiculous it got a laugh out of Purple. It did. I've never seen that one before, so thank you guys. I love the super stickers. They're so fun. Renzira says the Duffer Brothers have earned the right to do what they want with Stranger Things, in my opinion. Absolutely. Yeah, this is one of those shows, and I can't wait to sit down and watch the final season. Where you could see the love that went into it, the respect for it. But the only other show that I think has done as well, and what I'm looking forward to, is obviously Cobra Kai, and that's coming out really soon as well. I was kind of hoping that they would stick to the around about December release, but it's the 9th of September. The next season's coming out, so there's a lot to cover in the upcoming weeks. Let's see. Monkey says, I wonder what they will do after Stranger Things. I think Salty covered this, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the next project that they're moving on to, but they've got something else lined up after that. But Stranger Things has been such a phenomenal show, and I'm really happy that people have enjoyed it as much as they have. Let's see. Debug Martin says Mel Brooks already did that. The last Robin Hood movie that ever needs to be made. Agreed. Nearsighted Cyclops points out also Sherlock Holmes is public domain, and they seem to reboot him every 10 years or so. Absolutely. Yep. And we have a Stranger Things spin-off in the works, and thank you, Salty. It says Stranger Things season 5, then there will be a spin-off with the Duffer Brothers after that. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So again, that is great news for the fans. It's something to look forward to, and I think we could all do with things to look forward to at the moment. But let me jump back to this Cabinet of Curiosities, because as I said, this really did pique my interest. I'm a sucker for horror, and especially anthology. One of my favorite films to watch, and one that I will be watching pretty soon, is Trick or Treat. That's such a good film with Sam. Let's see. So, Cabinet of Curiosities is the show I always wanted to make, says Del Toro. Well, that and Mountains of Madness by Lovecraft, which I don't think we're ever going to get, unfortunately. Says Del Toro in the teaser. In this anthology, we gave ownership of each of the episodes to the directors. Each episode has a whole world. They present you with different delights. Some are savoury, some are sweet. You get a surprise on each of the bites. I like that. We wanted to create beautiful, practical creatures, hell yes, with all the artistry that goes into creating a great monster. With Cabinet of Curiosities, what I'm trying to say is, look, the world is beautiful and horrible at exactly the same time. Some of the well-known faces to join the various casts dotted across this project include Ben Barnes from Chronicles of Narnia, Nia Valdelos from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, S.C. Davis, who was in The Babadook, and Rupert Grint, which is a surprise, who will star in Catherine Hardwicke's Twilight episode, Dreams in the Witch House. That is pretty cool. Haven't seen him for a while. In the short trailer, we get a small but mighty glimpse of what's to come, and if suspense, moments that make you jump, and blood aren't your thing, look away now. I actually haven't seen this, so what do you think, guys? Shall we risk getting a copyright claim and play it? Let me know in the chat if you guys want to see this trailer. Soul Assassin, great to see you, says practical over CG effects. Absolutely. Absolutely, any day. CG is great as an enhancement, but it really takes away, and you can see it when it's all CG. Salty says, "Do it!" All right, let's do this. Where is it? Got so many open. Let me see if this is actually playing. There we go.
Cabinet of Curiosities is a show that I've always wanted to make.
He's actually looking pretty good. He was looking a little bit sick last time I saw him, Del Toro, so I'm really glad that he's looking better. Let me full screen this for you guys. And just look at that. That's great. Do you guys remember Cabin in the Woods? There was kind of a monster that looked like that. Another really good film. Let's continue.
In this anthology, we gave ownership of each episode to the directors.
Action.
Each of the episodes has a whole world. They present.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Let me just skip back a little bit. That's kind of awesome. No doubt something horrific is going to come out of that.
They present you with different delights. Some are savory, some are sweet. You get a surprise from.
Okay, I'm actually loving the look of this. I love the lighting. I love the overall theme that they're going for. I actually have high hopes for this, and I know I've said this before, and I said this about Sandman and multiple others, but what can I say, guys? I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to looking for good entertainment. I just hope that this lives up to it. I know it's only 8 episodes, but for them all to be separate stories and all individually contained, I think that's a really good premise.
Each of the bites.
I think we're going to get a lot of jump scares, and I really, really love these. I think these are amazing. I would love to have that print up on the wall. This is so cool.
We wanted to create beautiful, practical creatures with all the artistry that goes into creating.
Wow, look at that, guys. And that's one of the things that I really miss when it comes to horror nowadays, and sci-fi and fantasy as well. Amazing practical effects. Spike says Del Toro knows how to do creepy. He really does. And says, "Wow, yep, pretty much." That was my reaction. And this is the first time I've seen this. I deliberately kind of held off watching this trailer because I wanted, if you guys were interested, to react with it at the same time as you. Archie Collins says, looks a bit like a Dune sandworm. I could see that with the wide open mouth. Absolutely. And Daniel, thank you so much. He sends us a $5 super chat. It says, practical is scarier because we know if it's physically possible to film it, then maybe it could also get us in the dark. I'm not afraid of my video game. Absolutely. And I'm also a big fan of implying horror rather than just kind of gross out horror or body horror or shock, anything like that, because anything that you can make up in your own heads will always be more frightening than what they put on the screen. Once it's on the screen and you've seen it, it takes away. And I like the whole, kind of filling in the blanks yourself. Monkey Jeebus says, I wanted to get a Del Toro action figure, but they sold out. I've always wanted to get the NECA Pan's Labyrinth, especially the Fawn and the Pale Man. So I will probably pick those up eventually. But yeah, I think didn't Del Toro also have a Funko Pop at some point? Or I might be imagining that. But thank you. Soul Assassin says, have you seen the video of Del Toro's House Purple? It's amazing. Yes, I have. I believe I think it's called the Black House, he calls it. And it's almost like a museum with all of his collectibles in. I would love to do a tour of that house one day. I know there have been kind of tours where some of the collection has been taken out and you can actually see it in person, but to see it in the house itself would be amazing. And I know at one point the house was threatened when there were wildfires in California, and he was terrified that he was going to lose it. But thankfully, it was safe. But it came very, very close to being consumed by fire at one point. Ren Zero says Stan Winston, Rick Baker, Tom Savini, to name a few, masters of practical effects. Absolutely. Huge fan of all of those gentlemen. I think I've talked about all of them at one point or another in different shows. But yes, I've always loved practical effects. Let's jump back and see what else he's got to say.
Creating a great monster.
Ew.
We achieved some of the most remarkable images in the series.
Okay, that's amazing. Let me skip back to that character. Look at that. That reminds me very much of his previous films, and I don't know whether he's going to be in it because I haven't heard it announced, but Del Toro works very closely with my all-time favorite actor, Doug Jones. I would love to see him have a cameo as one of these creatures if possible, but I think he's filming for Star Trek Discovery at the moment, so probably not, but I can hope.
The series with Cabinet of Curiosities. What I'm trying to say is, look.
That is so cool. I love that shot. That is amazing. Yeah, this is Del Toro getting back to his roots and really, really tapping into his aesthetic and what frightens people.
The world is beautiful and horrible.
No, there's that, whatever that is.
Exactly the same time.
That's purple first thing in the morning before I have my coffee. Wow. Okay. I'm pretty much sold on this. I think that this is going to be a really, really great show. What do you guys think? Are you looking forward to this now that you've seen the trailer? Doris, yep. Need more coffee. Always need the coffee. Archie Collins says, filming for STD, you mean that's still going? Apparently so, yes, because I'm pretty sure he put up on his Twitter the other day, whenever he goes back into costume, he always shaves his head. But he's also recently done the sequel to Hocus Pocus, which is coming out in October, I think, as well. Renzira says, one episode said it was directed by Panos Cosmatos, I hope I pronounced that right, who directed Mandy, and is the son of George Cosmatos, who directed Tombstone. Nice. See, Mandy is a great film, and that gives me a lot of hope, actually. But yeah, I think this is maybe one that I'm going to have to watch and review. Really, really happy that he's back, and I missed him. And Nearsighted Cyclops says, and Critical Drinker's new book is out. It's a zombie outbreak story. Nice. Very, very cool. I've been meaning to pick up some of his books, so I might check that one out. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Ian Safor says Tombstone is up there with one of my all-time favorites. And has Nick Cage ever worked with Del Toro? I don't believe so. I would have to check. Maybe you guys in the chat could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he has. That would work for me as well, because you know how I feel about Nick Cage. So, guys, I think I'm going to start to wrap it up. Massive thank you to everyone who joined today. It was good to just kind of have a bit of a chill stream and just kind of talk to you guys one-on-one. Like I said, I'm incredibly lucky to stream with so many other amazing content creators, but I do like doing solo streams occasionally. What else have we got coming up? I know we've got a lot more of the Fire of the Fandom coming up on Salty's channel, so please check those out. Everybody, there's been a lot of people even here in the chat today who have worked very hard to have their voices heard before Rings of Failure come out, so please check those out. I probably won't be back on Friday, but if I do, it will be probably a short, because I was lucky enough to get tickets, well, a membership to the Discworld convention. So it's running Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So that's what I will be doing for the next few days, hanging out with Discworld fans and having a great time. And I'll probably report back to you guys and show you what's going on. I'll do a few shorts, let you guys see the fun that we have. Salty says Nick Cage has praised Del Toro but never worked with him. Thank you, Salty. Appreciate that. Hashtag purple blows up her credit cards. Facts, absolutely, truth. Might have to leave at least one of them at home just in case. Believe it or not, as big a Discworld fan as I am, there are still books or versions of the books that I do not own. So I will be looking out for those. But mostly it's just getting to hang out with like-minded people and fans. And I think Louise is going to be there, so that'd be great to see her again. And the gentleman that I interviewed on Sunday, Lego Ant Moorpork, is going to be there. So gonna have a nice time and hang out. And War Monkey says Floral and Punkwaddle are going at 9 tonight EST. Fantastic, guys, check those out. And Floral is incredibly talented, as is Punkwaddle, so check those two out. They are a comedy double act. So guys, please check out everybody. I know Zax has also got a stream tomorrow as well. He's talking comparing Arnold's, if I remember correctly. So if you're a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger, you guys aren't going to want to miss that. But before I say goodbye and let you guys get on with the rest of your Wednesday, let me say once more a huge thank you to everybody who joined today. Thank you to everybody who sent super stickers, who sent super chats. You guys are amazing as always. And what I'm going to do, I think some of you guys saw it yesterday, but I'm going to leave you with our new membership credit roll. So a huge thank you once more to Salty for helping me make this, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And we will be updating it soon as well, because mea culpa, I did miss a couple of people, so my apologies, but we will rectify that. But in the meantime, enjoy, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again very, very soon.